Hi guys. So I just wanted to do a little video potentially about fear and how intense that perceived emotion and story can get, and the intensity in which we buy into it. So fear comes from the story of thought. Thought says something, and as awareness, we buy into it and we completely believe what thought is saying in that moment to be valid and true. And from the belief in what thought is saying comes the perceived emotional response, the sensation, the feeling that backs up supposedly this belief that what it is saying is true. Now, another way to look at this is the fact that the negative sensation, the negative feeling may be indicating to you that in actuality, what thought is saying is not true. And that's why then you're feeling bad. Thought says, I'm going to die. Thought says, I don't want to feel this pain. Thought says, I'm frightened of. And it's the association and the connection with these words, these phrases, these sounds being a truth that creates the fear. Now, the way to break this down is to observe and to watch what is it that thought is saying, and is what it's saying valid and true? From the perspective of there being no separation and only one vast, expansive consciousness, where is the I that could be harmed? Where is the I that could die? Where is the thing that is feeling the suffering or the sensation? So you need to be brave enough, you need to have courage to be willing to examine the story within thought, to watch, to observe, and to question, and to examine the sensational feeling as an emotion. Because the same is true of a thought as with an emotion, a sensation, that when you begin to observe it objectively, and I don't mean criticize it, I don't mean judge it, I don't mean comment on it, I mean just observe and question its validity, its truth. When you begin to first accept it being there, to allow it to be there, but then to observe and to actually explore what it actually is, you will see that it's not true, it's not real. But it's in the resistance to it, it's in the running from it, it's in the fear about it that it remains in place. It's being held in place by that resistance. So you have to stop mentally or sensationally running. You have to surrender to it. You have to accept that it's there and allow it to be there. Allow it to be okay to be fearful, to have that sensation, to have that story running. Because until there is an acceptance and a surrender to it, you can't observe it. You can't watch it. You can't begin to explore it and see that it's just imagination at play. You can't do that all the time you're running away from it mentally. All the time you're trying to cover it up and suppress it and make it go away because you don't like the fact that it's there. We are taught to mentally run from it. We are taught to cover it up. We are taught to go and do something to get rid of it, to ignore it, to suppress it, to try and make it go away, to try and pretend it's not there. That is an additional layer that holds it in place. So the first thing is accept, allow, surrender, that in that moment there's a fear story running. In that moment there's a fear sensation present. The end. Not I have to make it go away, not it has to be different, not a judgment on it about not liking it or not wanting it or it not being okay or you being a bad person for having it. But the fact that it's just there, it just is. When you surrender to the fact that it just is, you can drop back into that awareness, into that vast, expansive space, and begin to objectively observe and question. Who or what is it that's going to die? Oh, it's talking about the body. Am I the body? No. So can I die? No. So thought is running a program with an automatic attachment, a belief that I'm in this body and that's what's creating the fear. I'm not in the body. Oh, release. Expansion. Opening up. Allowing. Falling deeper and deeper into that consciousness, into that energy, as the contraction of the attachment of the belief of being inside the body begins to fall away again. What is it that feels the pain? What is it that's experiencing the pain? Is it something inside a body? Where is this something that's feeling the pain? Try and find it. Look for it. Explore consciousness until you see, you have the insight that there is nothing there as a thing that is experiencing this supposed pain. What is pain? Close your eyes. Go into the sensation. Where's this thing that's feeling it? Oh, there is nothing feeling it. There's just pain arising in awareness, in consciousness, in the one vast consciousness that you are. So this sensation that's arising within consciousness, let's explore that a bit more. Is pain a thing? Can you close your eyes and find the pain? Okay, so you can't find a thing, there's just a sensation. And if thought stops talking about it, if thought stops labeling it, if thought stops judging it, it's just a sensation arising within consciousness. Can you play with that sensation? Can you go into that sensation as being the energy that you are, not running from it, not judging it, not commenting on it in the form of thought, but as silent, expansive consciousness? Can you just allow it to be energetic sensation? Can you be completely and totally present to it without thought running a story about it? Can you expand out and deepen into this dense, thick, vast energy that you are? And just allow it to be. The suffering and the pain is in the story of thought. It's in the belief in what it's saying as being true and valid. It's in the belief of being inside a body separate to the rest of the world. From that perspective, there will be fear, because you believe yourself to be something inside a body navigating an external world. Try and find it. There's nothing there apart from emptiness, apart from consciousness. And consciousness does not perceive an internal and an external. Only thought talks about a me. Only thought talks about a separate self. It creates the illusion of separation. So all the time, as awareness, you identify as being inside a body, there will be fear about its death. There will be fear about what could happen to it in an imaginary future. There will be fear about what is happening and unfolding, because there is a belief that you could be harmed, because it is seen that the body comes to an end. But you are not that body. You are not inside that body. The body arises in you, inside the consciousness that you are. Everything that is seen arises in you. There is only you. There is no other. So if there is only you, this body can come and go. Other bodies can come and go, and what you are remains. Sensations come and go, you remain. Thoughts come and go, you remain. Images come and go, you remain. Awareness of bodies comes and goes, but you remain. Consciousness has nothing to fear. Only thought creates the illusion of fear, because thought creates the illusion of separation. When fear arises, use it as an opportunity for growth, for expansion, for evolution of consciousness, for seeing that there is a story running in thought that is not true, that as awareness you must be believing in. What are you believing that's not true? What are you listening to that's not true? What are you getting out of running this story? The continued belief in separation, the continued belief in being a person navigating an external world. It's not true. There is just silence. There is only peace. The story of fear by thought arises in peace, arises in silence, arises in the consciousness that you are. The only thing that gets in the way of that being your soul experience in existence is the belief in what thought says as being a truth. Beliefs are not truths. They are beliefs. Ideas are not facts. They are ideas. Thought can tell you what it thinks is happening. It does not know. It's made some massive assumptions and built all of its stories upon those assumptions. Go back to those original assumptions and see that they are not true. Therefore, every story built on those assumptions cannot be true. You are free. And there may be sensations arising in you in this moment, but you are vast. You are everything that is seen. That sensation, that thought is a tiny, tiny energetic speck arising in the infinite consciousness that you are. Expand out to be that consciousness and see that there is never anything to fear, because as that consciousness, you cannot be harmed by an illusion, a hologram, an image arising within you. Nothing that arises within you as infinite consciousness can harm you. So what is there to fear? Only thought thinks there is something to fear. Everything past this moment is completely unknown. Everything past this moment is completely a free falling into the unknown. Everything past this moment can only be imagined by thought that is trying to pretend it knows what might go on and what might happen. It does not. It cannot predict the future. It cannot predict what is going to happen in 30 seconds' time. If it could, you would be a millionaire. You would be doing crazy things. And you also would have lived your life already, because you would know everything that was to come. And it would be dry and dull and boring. It's the free falling that makes it exciting. It's the not knowing that is the liberation. Bondage is trying to have it worked out, trying to have it sussed, trying to know and have it down, trying to have it all planned out. And in that planning and predicting and trying to know is the creation of fear. What's going to happen to me as a pretend identity inside a separate body? See that every fear thought has that massive assumption at its root. Where is this you? Where is this separate thing inside the body that has to be frightened of anything? This body arises in you. You are not in it. Can you let go? Can you completely surrender to the unknown? Can you just be present here in this moment with a total acceptance of it as it is? No resistance, no predictions, no labels. There's the liberation. There's the freedom. There's the silence. Just this. Just the hum of the laptop. Just the sound of the fridge. Just the sound of the birds. Anything that thought can say is imagination. It has nothing valid to offer about what's going on, only about what it thinks. But as awareness, you have been identifying with it and believing it as being what you are for so long. It's hard to break the habit. See that if you can watch it, it cannot be you. See that if you watch it, it arises in what you are. Close your eyes and find the separation between you and everything else. Find the barriers between the sounds arising in you and supposedly outside of you, because there are none. Where is that barrier? Where is that sensational, real, existing separation other than in the image where thought labels one thing as separate to another? If it doesn't label, where is the separation? Everything arises in you. Rest, at peace, and just be present, now. Everything else that arises in the form of thought is imagination. You are not inside that body. Look for yourself. Explore. Try and find this you. Because when the realization hits home that you are not there, that it cannot be found, then there's also the realization, well, what is it that needs to be frightened then? What is it that needs to fear anything then? You have to explore. You have to observe. You have to question, and you have to be willing to open up, to expand, to evolve, to wake up, to not be believing you're a person inside a body any longer, because that is what's causing the fear. That is what's causing the separation. So stop believing it. Question every single thought for its relevance, for its truth, for its validity, until you see that it's just a mechanical operation arising spontaneously by itself because it's been conditioned to do so. You are not that. You have always been already free. You have always been that infinite consciousness. You just identified with thought and the fear story that it creates. Let it go as being what you are. Let go of attaching with that body as being the only thing that you are. You are all bodies. You are all objects. This whole hologram arises within you.